Hello and welcome along to She Walks, She Paints. Thank you for joining me on this episode. If you are new here, my name is Sarah and we're going to be going on a lovely scenic walk somewhere in Scotland. Today we're in Fife and we're going to be looking for stuff to photograph and paint when we get home. Today we're doing a bit more of the Fife Coastal Path, which we've done a few routes before. It's a long distance route along the coast of Fife. So we're starting here at Cellardyke, which is the next small village along next to Anstruther, which we have visited in a previous video, and we're going to be walking along to Crail, which is just a really picturesque harbour village, really beautiful, really quaint, and I can't wait to show you it. And it's a gorgeous day, so hopefully we're going to have a really good walk. Let's head out and see what we find today. This sheltered fishing village is less well known than its famous neighbour, Anstruther, but I prefer its quieter charm. The harbour dates back to the 16th century, although it was rebuilt in the 1820s. I love seeing the washing being hung out to dry on these communal lines, a practice that goes back as far as the harbour itself. Each dwelling in the village would have had an assigned day to use the lines. You want to go in the water? Wait. The name Cellardyke comes from the silver herring scales in fishing nets, which would have been hung over the walls to dry in the sun. Around 200 fishing boats were once based here, but much of the fleet was destroyed in a storm in 1898. The remainder relocated a short way down the coast to Anstruther. Cellardyke Harbour is now home to a few small creel and pleasure boats. there we go, we're about halfway between the two villages now, and I have been to Crail before, but I've never done this route before, so it's quite nice just exploring it as we go along. And I have just spied some interesting rock formations in the distance. So yeah, let's go have a look at those and see what they're like. The caves of Capely have been naturally eroded from the sandstone by the sea, although they have also been enlarged by the people that use them. The colours and shapes of the rock reminds me of those water-carved canyons in the deserts of America. One of the more narrow caves is known as Harmet's Well, because for several months just prior to World War II, it was used by a hermit as his dwelling. Alongside the more modern graffiti, there are crosses carved into the sandstone walls of this cave, known as the Chapel Cave. They were the site of early Christian worship by monks and pilgrims in the 9th century. We're nearly at Crail. Just over there. This way. Crail is one of the most unspoilt of the fishing villages in the East Neuk of Fife. It was well established by the 800s and was made a royal borough of Scotland by 1178. It once hosted the largest weekly market in Europe, and there was even a castle built on the cliffs in the 1100s. Sadly, the ruins of the royal castle were cleared away by the town council in 1706. I love steps like these on old piers. They remind me of a scene from my favourite Jane Austen book, Persuasion. The piers were originally built in the 17th century, but they later fell into disrepair. The West Pier was rebuilt in 1828 by Robert Stevenson, the same engineer who built the lighthouse we saw at North Queensferry last week. This crane on the southwest corner lifts timbers into slots to seal the inner harbour. Well, I hope you enjoyed that visit to Crail Harbour. It was so picturesque and the houses there are absolutely beautiful, so I loved it. And the weather's been beautiful. We had an ice cream and a crab roll, so we're nicely refreshed, and we've only got another 3 or 4 mile walk back to where we started. So I will let you skip that bit and I will catch up with you guys back in the studio. So I will see you there. There are many different types of fritillary butterfly in the UK, all with quite similar markings. I believe this is a dark green fritillary, as its body has a green tinge. The dark green fritillary is declining in parts of England, but it is abundant in Scotland, especially around coastal areas. I wanted to build up lots of layers of orange to really intensify the colour. With every layer I blended out towards the edges as the butterfly's wings fade to yellow and white. This process is a bit repetitive, but it will be worth it later on, as I won't be able to add in more colour once I do the black markings. It doesn't really matter if these washes of colour are not perfectly smooth, as the butterfly's wings are textured and the black pattern will be going over the top. The pattern reminds me a bit of leopard print, which I love, so I was really looking forward to painting this bit. find doing the markings quite therapeutic. It's easier than doing perfectly smooth straight lines, and you don't have to get them perfectly symmetrical, as they aren't that way in real life. I'm using tiny feathery brushstrokes here to finish off the scalloped edges of the wings. I know some people would be able to paint the antenna in one smooth stroke of the brush, but I'm not one of those painters. You can't really see it in the footage, but my hands were shaking a lot during this bit. The final delicate details that could make or break the painting. All my paintings are available as prints on my Etsy store. Purchasing a print means that you're helping to support my channel and genuinely helps me keep doing what I love and sharing that with you. You can also support me by liking, commenting or subscribing, following me on Instagram, or by donating the cost of a coffee over on Ko-fi. Links to all my pages are in the video description below. And there's a boat, obviously. Why wouldn't there be a boat? Don't even think about it, Jack. You're not going underneath? Yeah, we'll go through like a normal person. Good boy.